if you needed some help with your homework, I'm going to go through here and do just a couple problems. Not going to complete all of them, but just give you some pointers and some things that you might need to be reminded of. Okay, so starting with number 10. If you look at 10, it says n times n plus 2 equals 0. Right? This problem is already factored for us, so don't distribute this n in. Once we have the parentheses, that's the format we want. We want to see two things being multiplied together. Okay, and then the two things that are being multiplied is n, so we can take the n and set it equal to 0. And then the other thing that's being multiplied with it is n plus 2. And so we can also set that equal to 0. The first one is already going to be solved, so all we have to do is solve the second one. And so we will get answers of n equals 0 and n equals -2. If we take a look at number 16, okay, 16 says s squared minus 14s plus 45 equals 0. Okay, this one is also already set equal to 0, so that's good news for us. Okay, we're going to then ignore that this equals 0, and we're just going to look at this polynomial and factor it. So we have a trinomial. So we can take a times c, 1 times 45 gives us 45, and we will start listing out our multiples. Okay, in this case, we have a positive, but we want them to add to a negative, so we want both of them to be negative. And we need them to add up to b, so -5 and -9 will add up to -14. Right, a does equal 1 here, so we can use the shortcut and just factor this into an s minus 5 and an s minus 9. Okay, we said once we have these binomials, we'll just set each binomial, each thing that's being multiplied equal to 0. So I want s minus 5 equals 0 and s minus 9 equals 0. So if I solve that, I'll get s equals 5 and s equals 9. So my answer for the problem will be s equals 5 or 9. Okay, then let's also take a look at 23. I'm not going to do the entire thing, but I'll make sure I get you a really good start on it. So we have 2w squared minus 11w equals -12. Okay, this problem does not equal 0. And remember, we can't do anything solving by factoring unless it equals 0 to start with. So we need to move this 12 over to the other side to make it equal 0. Right? I'm undoing a negative with a positive. Okay, if I look at these pieces, none of these are like terms, so I can't combine any of them. And I'm just going to make sure that I get this in my correct trinomial order. So I'll have 2w squared minus 11w plus 12 equals 0. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to ignore the equals 0 because I do have it set equal to 0. Okay, and over here I have a trinomial left, so I'm going to take a times c, which is 24. I'm going to start listing my multiples of 24. Okay, and again, we want them to add up to a negative. So in this situation, I need both of them to be negative. So -8 and -3 will give me a -11. Now, this one is not a trinomial shortcut. So this one has to be split up, right? A isn't 1, so I need to rewrite this into a -3w and a -8w from over here. Okay, and then I can split this in half and factor it by grouping. So over here I have a GCF of W. Over here I have a GCF of -4, right? I need to pull out that negative because the leading one is negative. So this will factor into a W minus 4 and a 2W minus 3. right, so then once this set's equal to 0, the only thing I'm leaving up for you to do is to finish setting those both equal to 0 and then solving to get your two values that W can equal.